everyone, I am Kelly Shaffner. My puppy is right at my side here. If you're wondering what this hand is doing, it's petting my dog. Welcome to my channel, guys. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you some very quick bread and butter flips. I am an online reseller. I resell women's pre-loved shoes and clothing to make my living. I search out wonderful shoes and clothing that can be cleaned, rehabbed, refreshed, and resold. So I am going to share with you today some bread and butter brands that sold very quickly within 60 days in my online store. So if you are interested, please stick around. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy yourself today. Subscribe if you haven't done that yet. I would love to visit with you again. Let's just start by talking about what exactly is bread and butter. It is probably different for every single person depending on where you live and what you are finding in your area. I think of bread and butter brands as brands that are easily accessible to me, that I'm able to find in my thrift stores, that I know people are searching for, that they like these brands and they're willing to purchase on the secondhand market. So let me tell you some of my bread and butter brands. That would be like Madewell, J. Crew, Loft, Chico's, Soft Surroundings, J. Jill, American Eagle denim. I will specify American Eagle denim, but these are all brands that are readily available. The thing about bread and butter brands is they can become very, very saturated on the resale market. And that is why sometimes we start talking about BOLO brands. If you find this brand, pick it up, and it eventually becomes a bread and butter brand because the brand eventually becomes saturated on the resale market. So I have a list in front of me. If I look down, I am looking at this list. I'm going to rapid fire through this list. The majority of the items I am sharing today came from the bins in Colorado. I went to Colorado in September. Everything was listed by mid-October, and all of these items have sold within 60 days. I do have a few items. I think there's 5 items on this list that came from a Savers haul. I'm calling it my homecoming haul because I was going to my nephew's homecoming football game and I made a little pit stop into Savers. I made a video. The thumbnail on that video said, can I flip these items for $30? I've sold 5, 4 of them sold for over $30. One sold a little bit less. So stick around, I will point those out when we get there. And then I have a couple donations that I am going to share today. I'm gonna jump right in and we're gonna go through this quickly. First up was a Prana top. This was a Prana Chrissy wool blend top that sold for $20. Next up was the North Face reversible vest. I love this vest. It wasn't a size large. In the color cream, it was furry on one side and the other side was kind of like a typical puffer vest that sold for $30. Next up was a men's piece. There are a few men's pieces in this list and I don't sell a lot of men's clothing, but I liked these swim trunks. They were by Psycho Bunny. They were just a colorful, fun swim trunks in the size extra small and they sold for $18. I accepted an offer of $18 on them. Next up was Madewell. I think Madewell is definitely a bread and butter brand for me. These were the Cali Demi bootcut jeans. These were in a gray color and they had polka dots on them, embroidered silver polka dots that I originally thought was puff paint. Turns out that they were manufactured that way and those sold for $25. Next up was an Anthro piece, a COA brushed knit sweater. Where did I get this? I remember thinking that the comps were pretty low on this sweater. Was it I don't remember if this came from the bins or came from a thread-up bulk box, but no, it came from the bins. I got $22 for that sweater, and that was a great price based on the comps. I price always based on comps, but I did lean towards the high end of the comps here because the comps on this sweater were pretty low, so I was very, very happy to move that sweater for $22. Next up was a Patagonia green better sweater in a smaller size, and that sold for $40. My sister found that one for me at the bins. Next up we have a J. Jill corduroy button up top in the color terracotta. This was like new. I believe this sold to a viewer, so thank you very much. I only think that because it sold right after my video released where I shared that top. That one sold for $20. Next up, this was part of my homecoming haul. It was an ALC Dominico stripe turtleneck crop top, and it sold for $30. So that's okay, but guys, this was flawed. When I got it home, I realized that it did have a teeny tiny little moth hole in the collar, but it was a turtleneck. So this was a top that when you would fold the turtleneck collar down and you would not see that teeny tiny little pin moth hole. So I was happy to sell that very quickly for $30. Next up was a Madewell midnight black dress. This was an older style of Madewell dress in a smaller size, and it sold for $28. Next up is a pair of Zara camouflage tuxedo stripe jeans. These were so cute. They sold for $18 to Lisa, who is a viewer. She saw these jeans on one of my videos and purchased them. And guys, a few weeks later, she came back and made another purchase. So I really, really appreciate your support. Lisa, you're awesome. I'll talk about that other piece because that was also a bins find. We'll get there in a minute. Next up is a pair of Spanx. This was also from my homecoming haul. Savers, and this was a pair of high-waist skinny jeans. This was a zipper fly button closure, and they sold very quickly for $37. The only reason I'm surprised about this is I picked up a pair of pull-on Spanx when I was at the bins, and they were in about the same size. Those pull-on Spanx sold for $60, much, much faster. They were in the last video, but I thought that the zipper fly would be preferable to the pull-on, but I think I'm wrong there. I think the pull-on Spanx is the way to go. People are looking for those, but I'm very happy with the $37 return there. Next up is Soft Surroundings Cream Pullover Fleece. This one came from the bins. It sold rapidly for $22. I found this in the bins. It was dirty. I was confident that I could revive it with just a wash, and I was correct. It sold very fast. It was a very basic piece, but it was a substantial piece. The next piece to sell was St. John's Sport Brown. It was a full zip jacket, and it did have an animal print trim on the collar and the cuffs, if I'm not mistaken. You guys are looking at a picture of it. It sold for $40. I have made more money on St. John, but this was St. John's Sport, and St. John's Sport doesn't always warrant the same return that St. John or St. John Evening Collection will get me. So I was happy to accept a $40 return. That was a beautiful piece. So happy to see that go to its new home. Next up was a pair of Spanx faux leather leggings. They were in the color black and they sold for $35. My sister found those and they were in her size. So I was surprised that she did not want to keep them. Happy with the $35 I got from that one. Next up was a J. Jill. I found a lot of J. Jill pieces at the bins, and when I am picking up J. Jill's, Chico's, Soft Surroundings, I really look for, I try not to pick up basic pieces, and I'm always looking for larger sizes because they sell quicker. I am able to sell smaller sizes in any brand, but the larger sizes tend to move faster, and I'm always looking to move inventory just as fast as possible. So this J. Jill, Pure Jill tie-dye cotton crepe sleeveless dress, it was really a cool dress, sold for $25 in October, guys. So that just goes to show that listing your summer stuff year-round, you can make those sales. Next up was by a brand I love to sell. This was, the brand is On Running or On Cloud, and this was a gray sweatshirt. Never have I seen the clothing before, but when I found this sweatshirt, I knew that I wanted to try it. It received a lot of attention and sold in less than a week for $44. The next piece came from the bins. It was one of the few Free People sweaters I found on this bins trip. It was called the Snow Bunny sweater. It was in a smaller size and it also sold for $44 very quickly. Now we're back to the homecoming haul. I picked up these Vans, which I thought were uber cute, guys. These were a pair of pink cupcake Vans, lace-up Vans that sold for $32. I do like to sell Vans if either they have a print that I absolutely love or if they are a collab. They seem to sell a little bit better and a little bit faster. I did pick up a pair of Vans at the bins and they sold quickly too, but for almost half of what I sold the cupcake Vans for. Next up was from the homecoming haul. It was a black intermix cross front knit sweater top and that sold for $37. I was so excited to find this brand because it is a trending brand right now and it's expensive to buy brand new. So it was a smaller size. I believe this top was in a size small and $37 in less than a week. Yeah, I am definitely looking for intermix. Next up was one of my lower sales, but a quick sale. So I want to share what's selling quick. It was a Patagonia piece as well, and not all Patagonia is going to make you a bunch of money, but I found this white dress at the bins. It was an organic cotton outdoor hiking dress, and I've had decent luck selling the Patagonia outdoor dresses. Now, I perhaps could have held on to that dress and made a little bit more, but in my experience, these dresses don't sell for much more than $30 on the pre-owned marketplaces. So I was happy to move that quickly for $16. And then I sold one of the many bras. The bras were the first thing that got listed from that bins haul. And this was the Torrid Curve Perfect Coverage Bra. It also sold for $16. Happy with that return. Next up was a J. Jill Blueprint casual dress that also sold for $25. It was in a size large in great condition. Next up is a brand I almost never pick up to resell. That doesn't mean that I don't have it in my business because I received this brand, unfortunately, in mystery boxes, but it is not a brand that does well for me on the resale markets. My buy-sell trade will not buy it from me. ThreadUp no longer accepts this brand, so I really am very, very selective if I am going to add this brand, H&M. And you guys, no shade on H&M. I have a niece that loves H&M. She recently had her first baby, and on her registry, all of the baby clothes that she was requesting were from H&M. She also wears a lot of H&M herself. So I understand this is a popular brand, but it is not a great brand for resale. But when I saw this piece at the bins, I knew it was going to sell. I liked this piece. This was a caftan, a cover-up, a ruana, and it was in all black and it was trimmed in black pom-poms. And I knew that was a special piece. I love tassels and pom-poms myself, and I'm not unusual, guys. There's other people just like me that like those fun details. So I was happy when this caftan sold for $20. Yeah, not even a big return. It was just a fun piece that I wanted to save. Next up was another fun piece that I found. My sister found something similar. I think I found this one. Okay, I'm gonna take credit for this one. This was the Ann Taylor houndstooth coat, very professional, polished looking plaid coat. Very, very pretty. It sold rapidly upon listing for $48. Next up was a pair of Spanx Thin Stinks girl shorts shapewear. So they look almost like a bike short made by Spanx, and these sold for $20. They were a size large. I don't think I shared them in a haul. I found them in the bins, and I say them because there were 2 pair. One was new with tags and one was not. This pair that sold for $20 actually had all the interior tags cut out of it. You could still see that little bit of the red Spanx tag on it. So I knew it was Spanx, and I compared it to the brand new pair, and they were the exact same size. So I'm guessing somebody bought themselves a couple pair, tried them out and said, no thanks, donated them, and I ended up with them. I was surprised that the first pair to sell was the pre-owned pair, but the other pair did sell as well. We'll get to that one in a minute. Next up, I didn't get to share this jacket with you. This is a Chico's piece that sold so rapidly I did not have a chance to haul it. It was a pistachio green colored micro suede jacket. It was also in a good size. I don't recollect the size, but I do remember it was a nice size, and that one sold for $36. Like I said, I'm looking for kind of unusual, unique pieces when I am picking up brands like Chico's, and this was definitely that. It was in great condition, $36. Okay, I'm going to share a bundle. One of the pieces from the bundle came from the bins. The other piece was from my personal wardrobe, and I shared about both of these pieces. The piece from the bins was an Alice and Olivia bucket hat. Now, I was excited when I found this in the bins. It weighed next to nothing. I probably paid less than 50 cents for that hat. Now, the shoes, on the other hand, were shoes that I had purchased online on a big sale, final sale, no returns. I had purchased those for myself, and they were too big. I purchased 3 pairs of Hey Dude shoes, and all of them were too big in my size, a size 8, which was a bummer. I could not return them, so I decided to resell them in my stores, and I got an offer for this bundle. The buyer put the bundle together and sent me an offer of $64. Now, I was happy to take that. I made profit on both items. Even if I had bought those shoes retail arbitrage, I still would have made money. So $64 for this bundle was a nice profit on both the shoes and the hat, and they sold quickly. Hey Dude is a brand that gets lots of attention and generally will always fall into these fast flip videos. That brand is trending right now. There's my little tip to you. If you find them, definitely look them up. Okay, before I move on to more bins items that flipped quickly, I want to talk about a couple pieces that were donated to my business by a viewer and a friend, Sophia. I love you, Sophia. Sophia is a viewer that has been following me since I first started this channel. And when I originally started this channel, I was sharing all about my clothes, the clothes that I was wearing, and I developed this small following of people that were interested, and it was actually my viewers that kind of turned me on to the secondhand market and encouraged me to sell my old clothes. That is how I became a reseller on Poshmark and eventually eBay, and my channel has switched over to all reselling content because I'm obsessed with what I do. So my friend Sophia has been a supporter from the very beginning, and on occasion she sends me a package of her clothing. She has great taste, and her clothing is always in great conditions. Sophia sent me a package of clothing, 4 or 5 items, and these couple jackets I did not get listed until fall started rolling around, and I was like, I've got to get my jackets listed. But these are bread and butter brands that sold rapidly upon listing. The first one is Elizabeth and James. This was a faux leather, cream color, asymmetrical zip, motorcycle, moto jacket in excellent condition. I have sold this exact same jacket before, so it was a really easy listing, and it sold rapidly both times that I sold it, and I sold this one that Sophia sent for $30, and this next jacket was also from Sophia, and this was by the brand Mark New York, teal casual jacket. I think that's actually what my listing said on this jacket. It sold for $40 in less than 2 weeks. Now, both of these jackets were in great sizes, either a large or an extra large. So there's definitely a market of people looking for fun and trendy clothing in these sizes. And I'm so grateful for those donations and that support. Thank you very much, Sophia. Next up was a pair of Eileen Fisher Toe Rin, all black, all leather, minimalist style sandals. They sold for $30. Okay, here is the other pair of Spanx Thin Stinks girl shorts. So I had all the information from this pair because this one had all the tags on it. I think these retailed for $52, and I knew they were an older style because when I looked them up online, they actually sell for more now if you're buying them brand new. These sold for $34. The ones that were new with tags sold for $14 more than the pre-loved ones. Next up is Sorel. You guys know I was hunting for Sorel while I was in Colorado, and I found a pair of Out and About puffer sneakers. They were a high top puffer style sneaker, super cute and kind of a rusty red color. They sold for $45. I love selling Sorel, not because I make so much money selling Sorel, but because it is such a fast flip. In fact, when I look at my history, I've sold a lot of Sorel shoes and boots, and most of the Sorel that I have found has sold between the $35 and $75 price point. Never have I sold a pair of Sorel anything like in the $100 range, but I'm always looking for it. Okay, this is the last piece that sold from my homecoming haul, the Savers haul, and guys, it only sold for $24. But I was excited to find this brand. It was a men's piece as well. It was by the brand Chubbies. And Chubbies is a brand that always sells quickly for me, but this was a piece that was a little bit different. When I picked it up at Savers, I actually thought it was a hoodie jacket, a long line hoodie jacket, but when I got it home and washed it, this was a terrible mistake. It was a romper, a men's short hooded romper. I don't know how much demand there was for that. It received a lot of attention, and I did accept an offer of $24 because I just wanted to see it move. I felt a little silly, to be honest with you, not realizing that that was a romper and not a jacket. And yeah, just happy that it all worked out. I made a profit on that men's romper, but yeah, so 5 things sold from that homecoming haul. Next up, this is again, back to the bins. Paul Green, this was a purple suede wedge Mary Jane style shoe, an older style. They sold for $25. Had they been a more recent style, I would have priced higher and waited for a better sale, but I was happy to see those move on to a new home. Next up was the Vans I was telling you about. These were a Vans checkerboard style slip-on, iconic, classic Vans, and they were dirty, and I brought them home and cleaned them up, but they weren't perfect, and I accepted an offer of $17. Happy to see them move out. Next up was a sweater that I loved, guys. I actually wore this sweater in a video. It was an all-cotton sweater by the brand Land's End. It was called the Drifter. It was a cable knit sweater. It sold for $24. I still have a red one. I found 2 exactly alike, one in blue, it was a turquoise blue, and one in red. I thought the red would sell quicker. Next up, this is the top that my friend and viewer Lisa bought. Now this top I did not feature in a typical haul video. I actually featured this top in a video of items that I was taking to the buy-sell trade store, and the buy-sell trade store did not accept this top. So I packed it up and I was sending it on to thredUP when one of my viewers said, "Kelly, what are you doing with that Caslon top?" It was a olive green cotton button front top with, it was belted. It looked like a safari top. That's kind of what it reminded me of. And I said, "I'm sending that to thredUP. Do you want me to list it?" And she said, "Absolutely." So I sent her a message and said, "I got it listed. You may have this top if you'll just pay for shipping." Now I listed the top for $20 because I didn't want anyone else to swoop in and purchase the top for $3, which was what I was willing to let my friend and viewer take this top for, and she paid outright $20 plus full shipping and taxes and everything for this top, which is, it really warms my heart. Thank you again, Lisa, for your support, and I hope you are enjoying both your top and your camouflage denim that you got. I love your style. I love your style, girl. This is it, guys. This is the final bread and butter fast flip that I picked up at the bins. And these shoes were featured in my shoe bins haul, but for some reason, my video had cut out and my camera stopped, and I didn't realize I wasn't filming as I was talking about the majority of these shoes. So I just cut all of that footage out. So you guys have not seen these shoes, but this was a pair of shoes that one of my sisters, I don't remember if it was Debbie or if it was Barbie, but one of my sisters found these shoes by Kelly and Katie in the bins, and they were very excited to offer me these shoes. Kelly and Katie is not a brand that I normally sell in my stores. Here's why: because they use synthetic materials to build their shoes. So their shoes are not usually in great shape by the time you find them in the bins. These shoes were definitely an exception to that, but these were also a heel, a pump, a stiletto. They were in a blush kind of nude color in very, very good condition, and they also had a 3D floral detail on the back of the heel. I have to admit, these were a really, really cute style. They were also in my style, my size, and my sister said, well, if you're not going to sell them, at least put them into your collection. I did list them for sale, and they sold very, very quickly for $17. So that, my friends, is all of the quick flips, the bread and butter flips from the homecoming haul and from the bins. There were some other sales from the bins that sold for over $50. I featured those in my fast $50 flip video. If you missed that one, I'll link it above. Make sure you check that out. Before we leave, I want to talk about my lowest sale of the year, my bad buys. And I don't really think that that's that important. I think we all have them. I think that we make mistakes. Maybe we've listed something incorrectly or with poor photography or whatever the reason may be. I do it. I know you're not surprised by that. I don't know that I need to make an entire video about bad buys. Let me know if you want to see a video about bad buys, because if you guys want it, I'm happy to deliver it. But I think it's more important to know what is working rather than what's not working. But I want to share this one experience because I think it's kind of an important experience to share. I sold a raspberry pink chenille sweater by the brand Kick It. I did a happy dance when I received an offer on this sweater. I said yes, because I had recently seen this sweater in my inventory and I was like, mental note, you need to donate that, or you need to try that at the buy sell trade, but I didn't. So when I received an offer of $15 for this sweater, I said, yes, I will take it. Very, very excited about it. When I went to pull that sweater from my inventory, could not find it. Could not find that sweater. It made me a crazy woman because I remember having the thought that I needed to purge that sweater. I ship within 24 hours and I was a crazy woman looking for this sweater and I couldn't find it, and I finally had to say, I'll get it tomorrow. I will look when I have a clear head and I'm not so crazy. And I looked the next day. I could not find this sweater. I knew I had not sold it on eBay. I knew I had not sent it to ThredUp. And I knew that I hadn't taken it to the buy sell trade store. But I had to cancel the order. I reached out to the buyer and explained that I could not find the sweater, apologized for my mistake, and canceled the order. She reached out to me and said, I understand, but I'm disappointed. And I run a business here, guys, so I was like, I've just got to move on past this. But I'll tell you what, it still made me kind of second guess myself. Like, where did that sweater go? I would say it was about a week or maybe 10 days later, I was pulling inventory for another order and I found the sweater. The sweater was placed in the wrong inventory bin, and I did not think to go through every single bin of mine. I thought, okay, if it's not in this bin, then maybe it's in this one. I didn't go through every single one. Had I done that originally, I would have found this sweater. I decided to reach out to the customer. I sent her a message and said, hey, I found the sweater. If you would like the sweater, you may purchase the sweater for shipping alone, which is a $3 sale. I do end up with a nickel in my account. Poshmark takes $2.95 fees. I end up with a nickel. It costs the customer roughly around $10. Maybe there's some tax in there as well. And the customer was very happy to purchase this sweater at that time. She left a very thoughtful and kind review. I'm sharing this with you because these types of mistakes tend to be the biggest teachers for me, the biggest lessons in my business. I'm sharing this particular sale because I actually lost money, time, peace of mind with this original when I lost the item. And I'm sharing this experience with you because I was able to make it right, and the buyer was able to she gave me a second chance. The buyer gave me an opportunity to make this sale right. I think that when we behave this way with our customers online, it gives that customer faith and trust that when they purchase on Poshmark or eBay, they're going to have a positive experience. It's our job as sellers to maintain a positive experience for buyers. And I'll tell you what, there are very, very difficult buyers on all platforms, right? There just is, and that's part of the business. And sometimes I will get questions or a case open, and I'll tell you what, Kelly Shaffner wants to answer to that customer. But I remember working at my last job where I was collecting a paycheck, and had I responded to every customer the way I felt like it, I would have lost my job. I had to respond to every single customer at my last job the way that my employer demanded I respond. When I feel the desire to get sassy with that difficult buyer, as Kelly Shaffner, the employee, I remember Kelly Shaffner, the CEO. Man, what's she gonna say? She's not gonna like it. No. And the CEO, Kelly Shaffner, is the one that thinks of the entirety of the business and the longevity of the business. And I really hope to represent myself on all of the platforms that I sell on as a seller that is honest, with integrity, and does the right thing. Even if the right thing costs me a little bit, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to be able to right a wrong. I made the mistake. The customer did not make the mistake. And I don't know how I made the mistake, but you know what? There's going to be more. Next year, I'll have another story similar to this. I wanted to share that story because it kind of encompasses the low sales, the bad buys. It was a beautiful sweater. It was just a piece that there was not a lot of demand for. The pictures were terrible. I did not retake the pictures. I did not think that I was going to get a big return. I felt like I would save more by just donating that than putting more effort into it. So anyway, I have kept you long enough. Guys, I have to share something with you. It's my birthday. Yes, you are watching this on my birthday. I am 58 years old today, and I am celebrating my birthday with should I tell you where I'm at? I am with my son today. I have traveled from New Mexico all the way to New Jersey to surprise my son on my birthday. I know he's like, really, Mom? But yeah, that is what I wanted for my birthday. The only thing about 58 that's kind of a bummer is you don't get any additional senior discounts. The next discounts start at 60. So guys, I'm counting down the days till my 60th birthday. So thank you very much for joining me on my birthday. Please give this one a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I am taking you all the way on my road trip to New Jersey with me. So if you want to see all the places I stopped and all of the thrifted items I picked up, please subscribe, tap the bell, and I will see you very soon with the next video. Blessings to all of you.